Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle videos, motherhood vlogs. I am currently pregnant with baby number 2 in my 3rd trimester, and then I also do a little bit of personal finance content. So if you like that kind of thing, make sure you subscribe. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of a 2nd trimester recap. Sorry about the weird lighting, but I got the sun coming in. We don't get much sun here, so I'm not going to complain about it, but you might get some weird lighting during this video. I'm officially in my 3rd trimester. I have been for about a week. I am currently 29 weeks pregnant. I think you'll be seeing this video when I turn 30 weeks pregnant, but I wanted to talk to you guys about how 2nd trimester went compared to 1st trimester, because we all know that that was a struggle. A couple things about me and my pregnancy. If you're new here, I'm 36 years old, so I am considered higher risk and advanced maternal age. So I am having regular appointments with maternal fetal medicine, not only because of my age, but because I am also considered overweight for my height. So that is considered an issue apparently. And then also I have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease. They're kind of watching all that stuff. So I am getting a few extra appointments than I did with Ivy even. Also with this one, I'll start doing like stress tests in the end of my 3rd trimester because again of my age and just, I don't know, apparently as soon as you hit 35 you're old and they're worried about it, you know. And whatever, they can watch me. I get to see baby a little bit more. Not a big deal. Another thing is we don't know the sex of the baby. We didn't with Ivy either. We found out when she was born, although I am fairly certain that my doctor slipped up and said the sex at the appointment the other day. I think I know. We have a name for both, so we'll see. A couple different things. My last pregnancy, we still lived in Raleigh, North Carolina, so I had a completely different OB team. I had a completely different pregnancy experience because we were able to be outside literally until the day I was induced because it was warmer out. I was a little bit more active over there just because we were going for hikes and stuff. And this time we live in Illinois. It's a little bit colder. However, I have more help here, which has been good because I have a toddler. Having a toddler and being pregnant is not for the weak, okay? I thought my first pregnancy was hard. It ain't nothing compared to this one. I love my daughter so much, but I'm definitely exhausted, you know? Yeah, I had a traumatic, to me, birth with my first daughter. So one thing that I'm trying to kind of make sure happens for this birth is that I feel comfortable with the doctors that I have, that I feel like I have a voice, that I feel like I know what to ask for if things change going into birth, things like that. And then my final thing, which I can do a whole video on if you're interested, but I am planning to get a scheduled C-section with this baby for multiple reasons, both personal and bodily. There's like maybe a slight chance of doing a VBAC, but I just don't think that that is what's gonna happen, which is okay, and I'm prepared for that. Let's talk about how my 2nd trimester went. I have some notes here, and then we will go into how 3rd trimester is going to be. If you have a TikTok, I'm going to be updating TikTok every week with like a weekly update of 3rd trimester. So I'll definitely be doing things a little bit quicker over there on Instagram and maybe even YouTube Shorts if you guys are interested. I am going to do like little updates or like on my Instagram stories. So make sure you follow me on those platforms if you want like immediate information. But otherwise I'll be doing vlogs and stuff for the next couple of months, and then hopefully I'll be able to do a 3rd trimester recap. I guess it'll just depend how 3rd trimester goes, when baby comes, things like that. Since it's a scheduled C-section, it might be easier to tell you about my 3rd trimester before I give birth. So we'll start off with the good and then we'll go to the bad, not so good, I guess. Pregnancy is both good and bad. You can be grateful for pregnancy and still feel like crap and feel bad for yourself. Those two things can exist at the same time. And if you don't believe that, then you're toxic positive and you're not for me, okay? Both good and bad can happen at the same time. And that's just what it is. For 2nd trimester, first of all, my nausea went away within the first couple weeks of 2nd trimester, which was spectacular. I was very nauseous in my 1st trimester. I puked more with Ivy in my 1st trimester and had more migraines. But with this one, I was just always nauseous. Always nauseous, and sometimes I kind of wish that I could have puked because I feel like it would have helped a little bit. So I was very happy when my nausea went away and I didn't hate literally every item of food that I had ever seen. I actually started to enjoy food again, which is something with Ivy's pregnancy. I just like didn't like any food really the whole pregnancy. I still ate obviously, but I just like wasn't interested. Whereas this one, I feel like toward the end of second trimester. I'm kind of back to that now that I'm in the third trimester. There's really, all food kind of sounds meh to me. Every now and then, like my bison hash breakfast sounds good to me, and like hot chocolate. And that's kind of it. But for a good part of my second trimester, I felt like I could eat things like that. Baby movement started earlier, and it's been great for me. So with Ivy, I had an anterior placenta, which means that my placenta was in front of the baby. So I felt less movement. This baby, I feel all the time. This baby is a gymnast, a soccer player, a cheerleader, a psychopath. I don't know, it's one of those things, but it is moving and grooving a lot, to the point that I'm very nervous for when it gets bigger, because I have a very small torso. Okay, I'm only 5'1". My torso is like this big, so I like torpedo out. I get one of those like big pointy bellies, and I'm just like, this child, if it's like flipping when it's big, but it has been great to like feel the baby more with this, because it just helps with anxiety. Another good thing is I've been having maternal fetal medicine appointments, which means I get to see the baby more. So the appointments necessarily are kind of annoying to have to go to more appointments, and it's because I'm considered higher risk. So I'm going to these appointments like every four-ish weeks, which means I get to see baby more, which is fun. Like, it's nice to be able to see the baby, have more ultrasound pictures, just watch things as they're happening. I've enjoyed that. Another good thing is my thyroid levels have seemed to be good. If you guys know, in my pregnancy with Ivy, my thyroid was like all over the place because they effed up my medication. It was like a whole thing. This time I had my naturopath and the functional medicine doctor that she works with control my thyroid medication. So when they made me change from Armour to levothyroxine, it wasn't such a drastic change. Last time it was super drastic. My thyroid just went crazy, and I was hyperthyroid for most of the rest of my pregnancy, and I felt terrible in third trimester. Whereas this one, everything has seemed pretty good. I did just get blood work done on Wednesday, so I don't know, it's currently Sunday, I don't know what those results say, but I don't think my thyroid is like super off right now. I feel okay. Also in second trimester, we officially moved out of our moldy house, the house that had toxic mold in it. Ivy and Ben have had like drastic health changes. I haven't had a ton, but honestly, I'm pregnant, so it's like hard to tell which symptoms are what and whatever. However, I have been able to do like a couple of supplements and things that are like safe for pregnancy around mold, and I think just moving in general has helped, even if I haven't noticed like a drastic change in some of my symptoms. Some of them have gotten better, and I think cognitively and just like happiness wise, I feel better knowing that we're not in that situation anymore. Plus, honestly, we love our new rental. It's really nice. We like our neighborhood a lot more than I thought we were going to. I love the house. I love my couch. You guys know, me and my Costco couch have like an obsession with each other. Well, at least it's one way. You know, I love this couch. That has been really good for this part of pregnancy, was just getting out of a situation that hopefully wasn't affecting baby, but there was no use in testing that out. A couple other things that have been good with second trimester are just the typical things. Like, I will say the last like 3-ish weeks, I haven't been feeling this so much, maybe 4 weeks. Earlier in second trimester, I definitely had more energy. I felt more like myself. I wasn't as puffy. You guys even like commented on some of my videos that you could tell that like the inflammation was gone from my face. I just wasn't sick all the time, so I didn't feel shitty all the time. Like, I felt better. I felt more myself. I felt like I was tapped into my intuition more. I felt more connected to Ben. I was able to like have more patience with Ivy, just all of those things, because I felt better. Just I wasn't sick all the time, which is like one of the best parts about second trimester, if you're lucky enough not to be sick the whole pregnancy. Third trimester hit a little bit sooner than I was hoping, at least when it comes to like fatigue and things like that. But for the most part, I felt pretty good second trimester. I still was napping here and there. I haven't been sleeping as well as I would have hoped in second trimester, but I still think in general it's been better. Plus, since moving, knock on wood, except for one night, Ivy has slept through the night. You guys know, she did not sleep through the night. She had gotten to the point in the last house where she was sleeping through the night about 2 to 3 nights a week, which we were so grateful for, because you guys know that she did not sleep well. Ever since we moved to Illinois, she has not slept well. She slept okay in Raleigh. We moved here, and except for one night, she has slept through the night. September, October, almost all of November. That's what I'm saying when I say that like getting out of the moldy environment, like I can't blame the toxic mold for that, but like, I don't know. I'm just saying her sleep tumbled and went terrible as soon as we moved into that house, and as soon as we moved out of that house, she could sleep. Either that or ghosties. So whatever you believe in, ghosts or toxic mold, it was one of those things. Me complaining about, I just told Benjamin, I hate Illinois. It's the plane capital of the world, because I've had to literally stop this video and the TikTok I made earlier like 4 times each video because of a plane going overhead. Why are there so many planes in Illinois? I know the answer to that. O'Hare is like one of the biggest airplane things. What are those called? Airports. Oh my God, it drives me insane. Anyways, now we'll move on to some of the like negative parts of second trimester. Not all of them have been my body. Some of them have just been my experience. So one of the negative experiences was the OB situation. So I had found an OB that I really liked in first trimester. Unfortunately, she decided, unfortunately for me, for her this is great, she decided to kind of change what she's doing because she also has small children. So she's going to be a labor and delivery OB at a hospital in Wheaton, which is like 40 minutes from here. But she's only doing like 2 or 3 days a week. The emergent care, like being on call, she's not taking patients. So it wasn't something that I could like schedule in with her or have her be my regular OB. So we found that out in early October, I think. And there are 2 other OBs at the practice. Because I'm planning to get a scheduled C-section, that means that I get to choose which doctor does my C-section. I understand that normally if you go into like vaginal birth or like labor, you just go in and you get whatever doctor's on call. I understand that because that's how I got effed over in Raleigh and had a terrible doctor, but I got to choose this time. So it was really hard for me that the person that I thought I was going to be able to work with, I no longer was. And then there are only 2 other OBs. The one OB was impossible to get in with. She literally was booked out until after my due date. And the second OB, I did not like. Ben didn't like her. I did a video on this. I talked about it. I didn't feel comfortable with her having a traumatic birth the first time. I wanted somebody that I felt like was confident in what they were doing. I also have some cysts on my ovaries that need to be removed, most likely during the C-section. So I just wanted somebody that felt competent with that, and I just wasn't impressed with her. We ended up needing to find a new OB, which just was stressful. Trying to get all my records transferred, calling each place because they don't talk to each other. I have to like, you know, move everything over. I have to go in and sign things and all that stuff. But officially, as of my 28th week, I have a new OB. I'm good with her. We're gonna go with her for the C-section. She reminds me a little bit of the first doctor. She's not exactly the same, but I think that she'll be great. She was recommended by my pelvic floor therapist, so I trust her when she said that this is like a very talented surgeon, OBGYN. We did find a new OB, so that's good, but it was a stressful like 4 to 6 weeks of trying to find a new doctor, trying to decide which practice to go to, that kind of thing. And it just was more stress than I wanted. Another negative that I've noticed with this pregnancy is that TMI, but I've had some leaking down south. So they actually were surprised that I didn't have more leaking with Ivy or directly postpartum because she was such a big baby. She was 9 pounds, 5 ounces. So my pelvic floor therapist wasn't surprised that I was having a little bit of that, but it's just been uncomfortable. It's just not something you want to deal with. So it's just something that I'm paying more attention to. I'm seeing pelvic floor therapist. I'm trying to do exercises and things that take care of that part of my body, but at the same time, it's just not fun to feel that every now and then. It's definitely not as bad as like some women deal with, but just not something that I want to deal with. And honestly, there's a little bit of anxiety for me that it like won't go away and that I'll always have that. And we're just gonna hope that that's not the case. Another bad thing is that the pain and third trimester woes started earlier. I started feeling more tired, more like my legs started hurting. I started sleeping less, more headaches, all that stuff that for me came with third trimester last time started, I don't know, around 24 weeks, you know, a month before second trimester ended. So I felt like I only had that honeymoon period of second trimester for like 6 to 8 weeks when I wish I would have had it a little bit longer, but that's okay. Another bad was having a hard time sleeping and going number 2. I've kind of had some issues with that, so I have been taking a magnesium supplement, which has helped a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it has helped a little bit, so that's been good. And then another thing, I just said that it's much harder with a toddler. Like, I have been trying to keep up with the house, trying to keep up with work, and it's just more exhausting when you're also a full-time parent. She is super sweet and very observant for an almost 2-year-old, but at the same time, she still wants to play. She doesn't understand why mama is like, why don't we just sit and watch Miss Rachel, because I'm like exhausted, or I didn't sleep well the night before, or something like that. So I haven't been able to be as much of a productive queen as I would prefer to be during second trimester. I wanted to do all the things and like exercise all the time and like eat really healthy and do all this stuff. No, but you know what, I did the best that I could with what I had, and that it just is what it is. That is my recap of second trimester. It's also hilarious because I literally, with Ivy's second trimester and first trimester, I took like daily notes of how I felt. And this one, like the other day, I wrote out the things I could remember, because you just don't have time. When you have a toddler, you're like, I don't have time to do this. That is how second trimester has gone. For the most part, pretty good. Third trimester is already hitting me kind of hard. It is what it is. This will most likely be my last pregnancy, so I'm trying to be positive about it. Another positive in general, if you haven't watched my anxiety video, being on anxiety medication has really helped. I feel like I've just been like myself. I haven't been as anxious. I've had a little bit of it here and there, but it's nothing compared to what it was with Ivy's pregnancy, so I'm really grateful for that. So if you stayed all the way to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.